The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. To I am. To I am.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? So welcome to our show tonight. Tonight I have my friend Toby Blackwell.
Hello.
And Candace Harper.
Hi, everybody.
They have joined me and we already started eating. I'm just saying, not the stuff that we're going to have tonight, but we had a little cheese. I'm just going to put it out there. So usually my guests don't eat before, but we broke the rules tonight and had some cheese. All right, so Keith Torgan has joined us. Krista Pira has joined us. Suzanne Murray, we were talking about you, Sergeant Sue. Oh, my God, Sergeant Sue. Rachel Pierce has joined us. So if you want to share our show, please feel free to share it on your pages or tell everybody. Jeffrey Campbell has joined. Tracy McHugh. Hi, everyone. All right, good. So tell people to join and watch our show, What's the Story with Maria. And what the mission of my show is to, I have creative people in my life. I have wonderful friends, and I always like to show them off because I was telling these friends of mine that the hardest thing in this town is to promote yourself. Hi, Jason Peck. He's come on. Kyle de Blasio. It's hard to promote yourself. It's uncomfortable, and it's weird, but we can promote each other, can't we? We can help each other out as friends. So that's what we do. Also, we are creative people. I live in New York City, and most of my friends work in the creative arts in one way or the other, or have worked, or are heading that way, or we would talk about that too, just being creative. When you're a creative person, it doesn't leave you. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're in motion all the time. Your creativity is always in motion. So that's what we want to talk about. And if you're listening to this show from anywhere in the world that our show goes to, armeddigitalmedia.com, or you are watching and you're thinking about moving to New York or thinking about if you should pursue a career in the arts, those are some of the things that we talk about and the reality of that. I want people to know the reality of what it's like to thrive, survive, live in this city and abroad as a creative person and what that really means, right? The day-to-day. So, okay, so I'm going to, Toby, you this is what I put you in. I put you because you are to me a comedian, number one. Not that one is more important than the other, but when I think of you, I always laugh because we've had some really fun times. A comedian, a singer, an actor, right? Yeah. And also a writer. Okay. Yeah. So you have done a couple of cabaret shows that you've written. Very funny. You happen to be an amazing singer. So you have this rich, beautiful sound that I love.
Thank you.
Yes, and you've also done some shows right around.
Yes, yes. I said that we had met, and you became my director of my shows. And first, I done 6. I think you directed the first 4, including beginning my Bitter series. So you started with Bitter, right? I think
Bitter. Yes.
Yeah. So I had a show called Home was my first one, and One Moment Please that got me sort of noticed a little bit. And then I started Bitter, and then I've written the Bitter. Yeah, so Bitter.
Bitter was that just hit. That's it.
Bitterer. Hobbit, Stevens, and Slaves.
Right.
I had Bitter and Be Gay, and then when I turned 40, I had Lordy, Look Who's Bitter. 40 years.
Lordy, Look Who's Bitter. Okay,
yeah.
I love it. And but you wrote those shows. I mean, and I directed it, but you wrote them, and they were so funny. And you're also really good at parodies, right?
Yeah. So song parodies are something I've done since I think high school probably, and through college, my senior group, I would do them. And so these shows, I always did song parodies, and I remember the Diva section I always had. So at the end, it started with Whitney.
Whitney, I know you were doing Whitney.
Yes.
Remember? Oh boy!
You still call me Whitney, I think.
I do still call you Whitney. That is kind of my pet name for you.
And I started with that. I started with a parody of How Will I Know called How Much Is Blow.
Yes, I remember that.
And then from there, Whitney appeared in everything, and then expanded to a whole Divas thing. So there were always 3 divas, and I was most proud at the end. By the time I did I think it was Michelle Obama, Lady Gaga and then Whitney singing "I Didn't Know My Low Range."
Wow.
She didn't have to
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. So let's say hi. Kenny Holcomb has joined us. Hi, Kenny. Corrine Russ has joined us. Rory Taggart. He's in Canada now. Michael Sawyer, my friend. Sam Barnes. Hi, everybody. Shalita Davis, my friend. Shalita. Hi, everybody.
The whole gang.
The whole gang. And there'll be more. There'll be more. You'll see. So, yes. You know what? You did Whitney.
Yes.
So well. Oh my God. And rest in peace, Whitney. We love you. And nobody is as great as Whitney. So we're no disrespect to Whitney. We love Whitney. But nobody could do impressions of Whitney. Before it got really sad, you were doing great impressions of Whitney.
Yeah.
But then you also did a great tribute to her.
I did, yeah. When I was doing a podcast myself like some years ago, and it was, I did a tribute to her, and I had the two outfits I'd worn, and I sort of retired them. But, I'm thinking it's been some time. Other people have done little things. I think Whitney
might be time.
I think Angel Whitney might be coming back.
Hey! I like it.
Yeah, so
why not? We miss Whitney. Bring her back.
We do some comedy, including Whitney and there's another podcast, and they did something when Prince passed away because they had people do the voices of these famous people.
Yeah.
And they did one of Prince, and it was funny because like a month later, I was like, "Oh, Prince!" Yeah. It was like I didn't think these people had died. Prince, Michael Jackson, these people, because I'd seen them in this podcast, and in my mind I had placed it that they were the real people. So I was like, "Yeah, they're fine," because they're to be speaking from heaven or whatever.
Right.
So,
Hey, listen, maybe there's a podcast in heaven we don't know about. Who knows? So what is Rory saying? Michael Barberi has joined us. Hi, Michael Barberi. Rory says, I still think of the Pepsi challenge every time I buy peanut butter every damn time. The Pepsi challenge? Well, you'll have to let us know what you mean by that, Rory. Are you hitting the sauce over there in Canada? What the hell are you doing? Are you drinking the Rolling
jokes, I think.
Oh, maybe. Oh, the Pepsi challenge? Yes. Oh, I think he's right. Yes. Hi, Kim Orlando has joined us as well. So I want to let everybody know what I'm doing. It's not that I have multiple personalities and I'm just talking to random people. We Facebook Live as well, as because the radio station doesn't know that. So we're Facebook Living as well, and a lot of our friends will pop up and say hello to us, and we want to make sure that we acknowledge them, and we thank people for coming back week after week, and we appreciate that. Rena Crugnali, my cousin Rena, has joined us. Hi, Rena. Bergie and Bergie Associates there. Okay, so Candace, let's move. We're going to go back and forth. So Candace Harper has joined us, and she is... we were talking beforehand. I said, Candace, this is how I see you. You are a costume designer, a set designer, art director. You knit. You're a great baker. So you are one of those people that really is talking about creativity and motion. Yeah. You also are a singer, and you've done cabaret shows. So you are one of those people that also, like Toby, that does a lot of different things. Yeah. And would you say that a creative? But then you were like, well, I haven't done that for a while. You said, talk about that a little bit.
Well, I always say that I'm multi-passionate, and
all right.
And I like to do everything. I like to have my hand in everything. I'm sort of like a Jill of all trades and maybe master of one or two.
Yeah, I don't master any of it. I'm just all over the place. I'm just ADD.
Right, truthfully. Yeah. I would say that the reason that it's easy to do that, and people have said to me, like, how do you know how to do so many things? And I don't even mean that to sound like...
No, it's just that it's interesting when someone does a lot of different things.
Yeah, but I think that as human beings, we all have this, like, well of creativity. We just don't all know how to tap into it in certain ways.
Right.
And it's the same principles that you can apply to almost everything that you do when it comes to creativity. If you're just willing to express yourself and be open about it and be authentic about it, you can almost apply it to anything then learn the skills.
That's true.
So I basically have spent most of my life applying it to different things, learning the skills, and then sometimes I get bored and sometimes...
One of the things that I learned very late in life that I wish I had learned earlier about being creative was just kind of cast your net out there.
Yes.
Just don't be afraid to at least try it. Like we were even talking about this show, like I'd never done anything like this. I had done other things and directed shows, so I knew that things needed a beginning and an end and some stuff in the middle. But I think it's just important to trust your instincts. But I think we get better as we get older. So to just say, listen, I'm willing to put my best foot forward. I am willing to respect myself and others. And let's see what happens. Like, just kind of throw it out there. You have to be willing to take risks, I think, creatively, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so now I want to go back to you, Toby. Now, well, we'll talk about both of you here because I told Jimmy, our producer, and Jimmy's our producer and engineer. He's so wonderful. Thank you, Jimmy Bell. We so appreciate you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And I know that Armed Digital Radio really appreciates the military and respects the military, as do all of us. And these guys are both. Candace is from a military family,
Definitely.
right, Candace? So you're talking about your dad.
So my dad was in the Air Force. I mean, he retired when I was a lot younger, but he's a very serious veteran. He's very, just it's part of his heart.
Yeah.
Having been in the military and
And-
his country and all.
And you guys moved around a lot,
We
right?
moved around a lot. I actually was born in Aurora, Colorado, and then we moved to the Philippines. We lived in the
Right.
Philippines for a while. I grew up mostly near Pittsburgh, like a little small town called Monaca. Hey, everybody.
So you're a
Monaca.
Steelers fan, right?
I'm a big Steelers fan.
And
I'm
they
really
did-
upset about
No,
Jacksonville.
I know, but let me tell you something. They were unbelievable.
Yeah.
They usually are anyway, but this year
They
the
held it
Steelers
together.
were unbelievable.
Yeah.
So let's give it shout
Shout
out,
out to the Steelers.
big clap for the Steelers.
Black and gold.
Black and gold. That's it.
it.
And your brother-in-law, you were telling me earlier, is
He's a two-star general.
two-star general
Who knew?
in the Army.
In the Army.
Wow. Okay,
Yes.
so give it up
Commander
for
of Fort Polk in Louisiana.
yes.
Give it up.
Should we give him a shout out?
General Gary Brito.
General Gary Brito.
Yes.
All right. So shout out, sir. We salute you.
Thank you for your service.
And Candace's dad,
Yes.
we salute
Hubert
you.
Harper, Master Sergeant.
I love it. Hubert Harper, Master Sergeant. That sounds like a movie.
Right?
TV show, yeah.
I like that.
Hubert Harper, Master Sergeant.
Oh my God. And Toby, okay, let me check in. Hold on a second. Scott Evan Davis.
Scott Evan Davis.
I know, isn't he
Oh,
beautiful? He was
my
on the show.
neighbor.
He was?
He was my neighbor at Lenox Terrace.
Oh my God. Dennis
Yeah.
Martinez has joined us. Georgia Osborne. Scott Evan Davis, I like your new haircut, by the way. He got a new haircut this week, looking very cute. Chip Goldrich, Carlos Hernandez, my friends have joined us. Joe Savino, oh my God. Joe, I was talking about how gorgeous you are. Yeah, well, I was talking about Joe, and he's joined us now. Usually he's in the shower when we're doing the show. I don't know. He's always in the shower or something like that. But Joe, I was telling, they're military families and people here. So Joe loves the armed forces. All right, so Toby, you were actually in the Navy, right?
I was.
So
yeah.
please tell us about that.
So, I'm from a Navy family. My dad was in the Navy for 30 years.
Yes.
There's
What's your dad's name?
Ted Blackwell.
Ted Blackwell. Thank you for your service, Ted Blackwell.
He when I was going to college, I needed to pay for college, so I did ROTC, Naval ROTC. So all during college, I was getting uniform a couple times a week and doing that kind of thing. During the summers, I'd do a month of training, and then I was in the Navy full time for 4 years after that.
And you traveled around the world, right?
Yeah, we were stationed in the San Francisco Bay Area, and then our ship went, all the way to Persian Gulf, and then we were supposed to be there for 3 months. We were only there for 2 because Taiwan was having elections, and they were worried China was something was going to happen, so they sent our fleet there. But our ship was so slow that by the time we got there, it was all over. So we just kept going and went to
That's it.
Japan and probably broke down for 30 days.
That's it.
Yeah, we just got stuck there. We were like, so when we got home, like,
And
that was
what
the long, we were away for 6 months. That was the longest we were away from home.
All right, okay, but thank you for your service, and please thank your dad. I love your dad. He's a great
Thank
guy.
you, so, yeah.
How is your dad?
He's great. He's good. He's he's been in this show. He himself is a songwriter. He's been writing for years and years and years and years, folk songs and protest songs, different things. And they're like, he's been doing really well. He lives in Austin, so that songwriting, world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he was teaching. He became a teacher, but now he's just retired and doing my mom's honey-do list at home.
Oh no, that's tough. That's tough when you're retired.
And taking care of my 100-year-old grandmother. She turns 100 in March.
Wow.
She
Wow.
lives with my parents now. Yeah,
His mom or your mom's
my
mom?
mom's mom.
I was gonna say
And
because
she
your
does-
mom's Filipino, right?
Yeah.
And those Filipino ladies, they go on.
Yeah.
They go on.
And the doctor, he said that the
No,
doctor.
they're tough, man.
Yeah.
They're
she
little,
walked
but
in
they're
and
tough.
And the doctor's like, I don't have any patients over 90 that walk in. She's rubbing her legs for good luck.
I'm telling you, she's 100.
Right, she's gonna be 100 in March. Yeah,
Wow. My grandma's 98.
Yeah.
Yeah, little. She's tiny. Maybe it's the height. I don't know what that's about. Those little. You know what? Let me ask you about your grandma. Is she like one of these really tough women?
No, because that was more of my mom. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my mom was like more disciplinarian. Like I think my grandma would even clean the house before my mom got there.
Oh, really? She was afraid of your mom?
scared of what my mom would do.
Well, you have told me some stories, and in your show you talk about your mom and how clean she was, right?
Yes, she's really, she's clean. Also, like the best, cook and baker of all time. But she keeps a clean house, and
that's no joke.
It's no joke. And but she raised. We lived in Japan. We did like other things, so she raised us. My dad's away a lot of times. She's got 2 young boys, and she kept us in line. We didn't get in too much trouble. And,
he was away because he was in the Navy,
yeah, he was in the
right?
Navy, and we're in another country, and we did that twice, and so she, to her credit, and to the credit of military moms everywhere, that's amazing. To do that, and so yay, mama.
Well, the military moms, we want a special shout out to them. And Candace, then you talk about your mom
Oh, she's me
and your sister. So Joe, thank you for your service, and I really, your hoops. Oh, he loves your hoops. Oh, okay. You know what's funny? I forgot to tell you. Joe loves big hoops. We actually call them big ass hoops because my cousins, Gina and Joyce, especially Joyce. Joyce is Joe's hairdresser, and sometimes they Facebook Live. And Joyce always wears those really big ass hoops. That's what we call them. And so, yes, Joe. Hoops, all for you. And oh my God, hoops for days. He loves hoops.
Michael, there's Michael.
Where's Michael? Michael Plosky. He was on the show a few weeks ago. Stephen Elbell. Hi, Stephen. Joshua Bergian. Okay, so we got so many great people checking in.
Poor Joshua.
All right, so we were talking about poor Joshua.
He's asking me
what.
He's like, if her hair is natural, please ask if she will marry me. Joshua, this is my waterproof hair. I bought this. I'm sorry, honey.
Do you still want to marry her?
You still want to marry me?
I mean,
it's not.
That's it. Well, think about it. Something to think about.
Melrose Place reveals.
We're doing all that.
Listen, it's
we're
all
anchored tonight.
That's it. That's it. It can be anything. We're ever changing. We're ever changing. Looks good. Looks good.
Actually,
Yeah, that's it. All right. All these people are checking in. Juliana Cesari. Hi, Juliana. That's Julie Cesari in LA. She gave me my first equity job. Thank you, Julie. All right. So you did let's go back and first of all, let's talk about the military mom stuff, right?
Yes.
So your mom was a military mom, right, Candy?
Yes.
And your sister.
My sister, big time.
Yeah. So talk about that.
My mom, my dad retired right before I was in 5th grade. So my mom for not nearly as long. My sister, they got married when I was 15 years old. So we're going back a few decades. I'm dating myself. But their whole
life is the
their
military.
Whole life, was the military. And she is like a masterful military wife.
And then what do you mean by that? So
she's really good at all the stuff that goes along with it, like all the planning and all the social stuff. There's periods of time, like when he was deployed in Afghanistan and when he was deployed in Iraq, where she has to go to all the funerals. Like, she's just really good at, holding it down. She organized the house. They raised 2 boys together.
Wow.
Their younger son, actually, he's now an officer in the Army.
I didn't know that.
He flies helicopters. It's a family thing.
He was just a baby.
He was a baby, little Patrick. He was a little tiny
He's in the Navy?
big-headed baby. And now he's in the Army.
Wow.
But he's, almost in his mid-20s? And he flies helicopters.
That's amazing.
Second lieutenant, I want to say, that would be the rank.
That's really something.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. So,
in the Brito family.
yeah, tonight, a lot of shout-outs to our military. We so appreciate everybody's service and dedication, and just talk about taking risks and just going out there and doing what you got to do. So, a big shout-out to that. And, all right, so let's go back to, Toby, did you always sing as a kid?
Yeah, I started singing in church. But I know it sounds like I was in a gospel church, but it was Catholic church. So.
Okay, yeah. I went to Catholic school. We sang at folk mass.
Yeah.
That's where you learned to sing in church.
Folk mass. I love folk masses.
See, look at all the lights. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
you sing to the Lord, baby. That's it.
And at first, I remember them being like, "You're so loud." And I was like, "Oh, I'm loud." And then I joined a choir in 6th grade, and then I got a solo, and then the big solo was "Go Tell It on the Mountain" at the Christmas show.
Of course. Oh, and you have a beautiful baritone voice, which is most guys that I know are tenors, and then there's like the Michael Woolleys who are basses, very rare. And my friend David White is not David White, Fred Owen. My friend Fred Owen, he's a deep bass. But most guys that I know are tenors, and you have the beautiful baritone voice right in there, right? So you sang as a kid, and then. Didn't you do you did tours and stuff, right? You were at Disney, didn't you? Disney?
So I sang, and then at Harvard I went to.
Let's back up. I just heard Harvard. Wait, what? So you went to
I
Harvard.
went to Harvard. That's where it is. Yeah, I did ROTC and everything. That was at Harvard or MIT at the time.
Very impressive. Not
you.
easy to do.
Yeah, so I mean, I always feel like that's like so many of us are like, that's what we did, and then then you go live your life, and after a while, it's all about the lessons you learn as you go along.
Yeah.
'Cause,
And what did you at Harvard? Did you major in business?
East Asian studies. So I studied.
Wow,
Japan, yeah.
really?
That's awesome.
What made you pick that?
We had lived in Japan as
A military family.
Yeah, military family, and so I was interested in it, and I knew I wanted to take 2 years of language at Japanese. I took a business course, the first economics course, and I was like, I'm so bored. I can't write business. And then I looked into do that degree. I added 1 more year of language, and then I got to take any East Asian classes from different departments and have my own things, and that was a whole degree, so it was great.
Wow. That's really impressive. I didn't know that about you. See, that's one I love. Here, Darius. Hey, Darius. Andre Nugem has joined us. Hi, Andre. And Joshua James Francis Lewis. He's a chef. I try to get to everybody. Okay, wow, I didn't know that about you. I learned so many things about people when they're doing the show that I didn't know about them before. And Candace, you went to NYU?
I did.
And you studied costume design?
I studied design for theater, film, and television.
Okay.
And my emphasis was in costume design. And I realized, like, right after I graduated, I mean, I worked for the Broadway show Rent, like the original cast and everything for a long time. But I realized it just wasn't what I had sort of fantasized it to be, so then I branched out.
What did you fantasize it to be? I'm just curious, because I wasn't in that business.
I thought that I would instantly be like a Colleen Atwood, who's like a famous film
costume
designer, and that would instantly be how it was. And then I'd be drawing all the time and taking it to the shop, and then they'd make it, and it would be gorgeous, and some actress would be wearing it. But what it really was is you got to pay your dues. So it was a lot of schlepping bags through Times Square.
Right.
A lot of trying to budget, trying to figure it out, piece it together, doing little sideshows, doing little theater that had no money.
Did you believe this because you really made that up, or because the training or the school always sort of put that in your mind, kind of that was what it was going to be?
I think it was a combination
of both. It's a good question.
Too. That is a great question. I think it was a combination of both, because we were trained that, you just draw and you do these original things, and then our shop within the school would then build it, and then we put it on the actors who were going to.
All right, okay.
Some great actors like Billy Crudup and Deb Messing, and a lot of them are very famous now.
Yeah.
So we would put them on the actors, and so it felt like that's instantly what it was going to be,
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of dues paying, and that wasn't the reason necessarily that I left it. I just was like, I don't know that this is the be-all, end-all, and it took me at least 15, 16 years to realize that as much as I was having a lot of fun, it wasn't like it wasn't something that I was connected to, like it wasn't purposeful. It was just kind of fun. And I had, a degree in it that I paid a lot of money for.
Yeah, right.
I needed to figure out, what it was I was connected. I wasn't emotionally connected to.
Right. And how about the set design? You're really good at that.
Yeah, which was more so. I mean, it was more so art.
But you were good at the costumes. I mean, I've seen some of your costumes. They were really great.
Some illustrations and stuff. Which I don't know if did you see my comic strip that I did for a little while?
Yes, thank you. I forgot about that. See, okay. We have to at some point talk about, because Toby brought it up earlier, about all the different jobs that you have, and the different things that we do. So the costume design, the art direction, and you worked on a bunch of TV shows, right?
No, the art direction, did you study that, or did you do that on the job? Like, how did that happen?
Well, the art direction was, a through line of having studied, design for theater, film, and television, and working with other students and people that I knew, once we were all in the professional world. And one of my professional mentors was Tina Manfredi, who was an art director for the Judge shows, and that's how I started. But then I went from Judge shows to the Tyra show, and then the Wendy Williams show was the last thing.
And I got to see Wendy Williams because of Candace.
Right? You got to come to the show?
Yeah, I got to see
and
Tyra.
I got a DVD from Celine Dion.
Yes.
Oh, no, what?
And Celine Dion called into the show, and I got to tell you, I love Celine Dion singing.
Yeah.
I can't stand her speaking voice, so that was...
Oh,
the greatest singer in all the world!
It's about 10 minutes, but I did get a free DVD.
So fabulous.
Oh, look at Darius saying, service a riff, Toby.
Whoop, give it to us, Toby.
He wants a riff. Darius is always, I call him a masterful puppeteer.
It'll be a surprise for him.
Surprise, yeah, just rip it out of the...
chimes, I'll give him a riff.
Oh, yeah, because I told Toby we have, look at Chris Apiro flirting with you. Beautiful woman.
Hello, Chris.
Chris is single,
Oh,
okay, so the magical chimes. What? Yes, we have Juan Felipe has joined. Hi, Juan. Juan, do you know Toby? Do you know Juan Felipe?
I'm not sure.
You guys would love each other. He's Colombian. He's very funny. And Toby is really funny. And you would really get along great. All right. So one of the things that, so you talked about having all those, one thing leads to another. And being creative like that. But the baking, because I want to start talking about our food. We're going to segue into the food section of the show. Look at all the hearts. They love that.
Breakfast for dinner.
That's right. So you were also a great baker, and you made cakes for a while there, right?
I did cakes for a while. I did wedding dresses for a while. I did pillows for a while. I like to try everything.
Yeah, but do you still do that? Let's say somebody is watching the show tonight and says, "Oh my God, I'm getting married. I would love a wedding dress designed."
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
I mean, now I'm a love coach, so I do help people with their relationships.
Oh, you help them get to the wedding dress.
Yes, I help them get to that point. But
right.
no, I don't actually. I mean, I might do a design for them. I would do an illustration, and then they could figure out how to go get it made.
Well, Plosky can, you could call Michael Plosky. He can design.
He's design, right?
Yeah,
he would design something.
He would design. How about if someone was doing a show and they wanted an art director for a show for a theater or something?
That I could do. If they wanted, like, for television mainly, if they wanted, like, some prop setup, some atmosphere, some, special event stuff, that I could do still.
All right, so
really...
That's why you appreciated my plate tonight, then.
Oh, I love your plate.
All right, so...
It's so fantastic.
I was texting these guys, and I'm like, okay, do you have any dietary restrictions? That's what I usually ask my guests, because I want to cook the show, right? So Candace threw the curveball in there with the gluten-free and all that. But which I knew anyway. I know Candace is usually like
Such
that.
attitude.
Well, no, it's not that. She just was like, I'm not eating sugar and trying to, and carbs and stuff. So I'm like, oh fuck. Excuse me. So now
That's your secret riff.
there you go. There's the riff. You threw it in. Wait, magical. Oh, perfect. All right. Wow, I'm getting dizzy from the magic. So anyway, I said to myself, let me see. If I'm trying to think of gluten-free. Oh, wait a minute. Breakfast for dinner. So I thought, eggs. So here's what I've done. Here's my plate. Look at that plate. Isn't it gorgeous? So look what I did. I got fluffy scrambled eggs, bacon. I like it well done, but I made it kind of medium. Look at all the likes. Now these sausage are special sausage. They're chicken sausage, maple chicken sausage. But you know what I did? I cooked up some onions and apples, sauteed them, and then threw the chicken sausage in there. So they have an apple onion kind of glaze over them. And these pancakes, you're thinking, those aren't gluten-free, Maria. What are you, crazy? Guess what? They are. They're Trader Joe's. My favorite, Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's gluten-free. You get them in the freezer section. They're called gluten-free pancakes. They are off the damn hook. Thank you for liking my plate. I appreciate that.
Oh, my God.
So that is my plate, and we're going to eat this. I'm going to make it fresh afterwards. So that is our thing. So you were talking about if even people that style food on sets, right?
Yeah.
There's food stylists.
There's food stylists. There's people who fabricate things. I mean, what I did a lot was fabricating things, and producers would come up with ideas for gifts for celebrities and stuff, and I would just make it. Or games. If you ever watch talk shows and they play games and stuff, that stuff doesn't exist. Somebody has to figure out what that's going to look like and build it.
And create it.
Yeah.
And all
that's
that.
What I used to do.
Peter Rose says Toby is so smart. Who's Peter Rose, Toby?
Peter Rose is somebody. Pretty important to me.
Okay, and he said that you're so smart.
Because he's so smart.
All right, see, smart people know each other.
Recognition.
So I do want to talk about that because you are super duper smart, and you're a tutor, right? That's what
I do. I tutor now, yeah. And I tutor mostly kids taking the SATs and ACTs and stuff. So it's sort of the other side of there's we have the left brain, right brain. One's the creative side, and one's the more math side or analytical side. So it's a way to incorporate both sides because you do have to be as a performer. It's great, but sometimes in front of a classroom with people, you have to entertain these people. For 3 hours.
I can imagine. I would love it if you were my tutor.
And then sometimes you have the one-on-ones, and it's just the ability to think on your feet. To know if the kid's going a certain way, to sort of think like them. And as actors, we are always getting in other characters' heads and things like that. And so it's all really helped and to do my tutoring, and it's going very well.
That's hard stuff, though. Tutoring for SATs.
Yeah, it's it doesn't. But once I get I understand it, so I can teach it. I just teaching the same thing over and over. Sometimes I teach for kids courses, and then I'm sort of figuring out.
Do you do private tutoring too?
Yeah, it's mostly private tutoring.
Okay, so if people need private tutors for your students for SATs, Toby's your guy.
Yep. And I've checked tobytutor@gmail.com.
You have a Toby tutor?
Mm-hmm.
At gmail.com?
Gmail.com.
Oh, I love that. Toby's with a Y.
Yep.
Also, Maria Filiumani has joined us. Joe Savino said, where are the home fries? Joe, you're not listening. It's gluten-free.
No, home fries would be okay.
What is It's
Yeah,
potatoes.
As long as you don't fry them with like flour or something like that, the home fries are gluten.
You can have home
I mean, they're
fries.
starchy.
Yeah. Come on. They turn to sugar after a while,
They do turn
right?
to sugar.
But if you come over, Joe, I'll make you potatoes with the nice peppers and the onions. That's delicious. Shane Desmond Williams now has said, hi, sexy people. Hi, Shane.
Hi, Shane.
Shane's from Massachusetts, but he lives in Atlanta now, my buddy. Okay, so you're a gluten-free person. That's it. You eat mostly.
Well, unless I go on a bender. I mean, for the most part, I don't eat gluten because I just don't feel well when I eat it. I know it's a trendy thing.
If I stopped eating things every time I didn't feel well from eating them, I'd be stopping a lot.
But I gotta be honest though, like I overdo it. Like I'm one of those people who I'm all or nothing.
Yeah.
What do you mean you overdo it? Like no gluten, that like you don't even want to see gluten, or you overdo it when you binge?
Like if
I'll
you
have
do
to
binge,
do
you'll
no
go
gluten
crazy.
because I've been binging, or like
Well, what do you binge on? If you're gonna go in the darkest place of a gluten life, and you're like, nobody's gonna find out, and you open a bag of what? What's the worst thing that you
Here's
do?
the darkest place of gluten life for me,
Okay.
and I can tell you because it just happened last month.
Oh no.
It's those cans of cinnamon roll that you twist and pop.
Yeah,
And
cinnamon rolls.
And Grand's makes like a big size, and you can put the icing on at the end.
Oh, that's
they have some I think with extra gluten.
Yes.
right.
Just can of gluten.
Right.
If I'm on a bender, especially if I haven't eaten anything and I'm hungry and I'm like, whatever, I just want to fix, I will make that, and literally there's like 8 of them in there.
And you can eat
I
them?
can kill 5.
I just picture you like tapping the can, like people
You know-
they
Oh,
tap the
yeah,
get your fix of gluten.
Oh my god.
Shoot the can in your mouth.
But it's always by the 5th one that I'm like, ugh.
What the hell? So you're in a blackout. You're like in a cinnamon roll blackout. And that's it. Oh,
yeah,
it's happened.
5th one, that's it.
You cry?
Well,
Yeah.
You crash.
it depends on why I'm
Oh
doing
my
it in the
god.
first place.
See me, it's ice cream potato chips. Ice cream potato chips. And I go back and forth. Like I need salt and I need sugar. Then I need salt and I go back and forth.
Have you ever had potato chips with like a chocolate bar, like a Cadbury
Oh,
Cream
my
Nut
God.
bar, and Cape Cod potato
Or
chips?
dipped potato chips dipped in chocolate.
Yeah.
Or pretzels. I love salt. Like, one of my favorite things, people are going to think this is gross, but I like salt and sugar, is a cinnamon raisin bagel with white fish on it. That, I know, a lot of people are like, whoa.
Fish and raisin.
Yeah, I love it. I love
raisin.
it.
That's wrong with it.
I like salt and
fish and
sugar,
raisin.
Toby, what's your bat, like if you go, but you don't really have to watch what you eat, do you, or do you?
I have the refined palate of an 8-year-old, so I just eat what I'm cool
Chicken
on.
fingers?
All the time, yeah.
And pizza.
I like chicken fingers. It's not that bad, but I have actually been in the past year eating better because I joined the Home Chef and
Oh, really?
they bring you the food, and
Oh
you cook
yeah,
it.
those are great.
So I joined those, yeah, and what was cool was at Christmas I sent a box to my family, and so my mom and I for the first time ever cooked together.
Wow.
Because her thing is food, and she's so good, and so that's
She's a
what
really
we got
good cook,
to do.
your mom,
Yeah,
right?
We got to do together, and we'd never done that before.
And what is some of the stuff because your mom's Filipino, so what's like a Filipino dish?
She's Filipino, Filipino food, and my grandma used to make Filipino food and sell it to restaurants.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it would be like pancit is the noodles.
Pancit, I love
Pancit is the noodles. And lumpia, the egg rolls. Those are like the most famous ones. And chicken adobo, which is like, and my mom taught people how to make that over the phone. It's
Oh,
actually
my
easier
God.
than you think, but yeah, it's delicious. But my mom actually worked at a cooking school in Austin, so
Oh, really?
yeah, where she volunteered at one. So she could cook everything, and she'll take the recipes and make them her own, and that's like her thing that she does. And it's
Yeah,
great.
my mom was like that too. I think that's a certain generation of very creative. Like you
Yeah.
have to. You're
Yeah, they're
usually
creative and meticulous. They're all about spending the time, and you feel the love and the care that goes into the food, and it's different than a lot of what we eat now.
absolutely, and also it sometimes comes from having to be resourceful.
Yeah.
It's like you move somewhere new. You have to assess your situation. You don't have a lot of money. You have to make it work. And eating at home is one of the best ways to save money.
Yeah. And then my dad being in the military food is not the best. And
Is that
not,
true?
Yeah, it's not the healthiest for you either. You're sort of making stuff that's going to appeal to the masses. I was a food service officer. and you usually get sometimes good food. We were on a ship that happened to be imported a lot. A lot of ships aren't imported a lot, and a lot of people aren't even on ships that they can get that. So,
what do they eat? Like mashed potatoes?
It's a lot. It's a lot of food that is fried. It's the quickest way to make food. When you think about food that has to get served to masses of people, and it's the easiest way to do it is fry it. Yeah, and so I think that my mom, single-handedly from her cooking at home, really has helped my dad, to live a healthy life. He'd be, I don't know what would have happened because that's kind of the artery clogging and not the healthiest. But she's always made it very healthy, but been creative about it. Like we were talking about creativity.
Well, that's what it is.
That's just creativity that that she expresses. She plays piano, but people would think because she house so clean that she's this taskmaster, but her creativity comes out in her food, and and that really benefits everybody.
She like MacGyvers it together.
She does. She slipped wheat germ into a lot of things that we didn't know that.
Really?
Well, that's it too. And Candace, your family was very creative with food, right? Your mom was a good baker?
Oh, my mom was an excellent, that's how I learned how to bake. My mom was always an excellent cook. And she was the one who, there's always the one person in the family that everybody else in the family comes to their house or, they come to her Thanksgiving, that sort of thing. When I was little, yeah, she was an excellent cook.
Yeah, my mother too. Isn't that great? A lot of people don't grow up with that. So shout out to our moms.
Yay,
Thank you very much.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let me see. What are some of the things that we're working on now? So what are some of the things that you do, Candace, to stay creative? Or do you ever want to take a break from it and just like back up and not want to do anything creative?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I ever want to take a break from it. There's definitely times where I feel a little stuck and get in a lull, but then it starts to affect me mentally. Like I have to be doing or creating something. I have to be working on something.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's like the brain will start to be like, okay, like I'm getting a little crazy if I'm not expressing myself in some way.
Absolutely. I get sad.
Yeah.
I
Totally.
get really sad if I'm not being creative. If I'm just like sometimes there's certain jobs, like we were talking about this, and we should talk about some of the crazy jobs we've all had. You do certain things that you have to do for whatever reason, because we have to pay our bills. And like for me, corporate America is, oh my God. Like that to me is like a nightmare, that I can't wake up from.
The seventh level of hell.
Yeah, I can't, like doing something like that would have to I wouldn't be able to do it. That's why I do so many crazy jobs. Like Toby came over, he's like, what's this stuff? It's like all my Rodan and Fields, because I display it out there, and that's one of my jobs. Yeah, I sell Rodan and Fields skincare. It's great stuff. I also Uber in Jersey when I have free time, because it's like, why not? But I'll tell you something about the Ubering. It's you meet the most interesting people.
Oh, I imagine. And
it's like literally you have 5 minutes with them, or one guy had to drive to Pennsylvania this week, or an hour and 30 minutes. But you're privy to their lives for that amount of time, and then it's over. And that's it. You get these like flashes of like their life. So it's really cool. Like there's actually a series there somewhere. You see people's lives. But what are some of the crazy jobs that you've had, Toby, or things that you've had to do?
I was one of those. I did like temp work a lot with being
You
here.
did, yeah. I remember.
I've never worked in a restaurant. Actors always work.
Good for you.
I've never done that.
It's hard.
Did temp. I always did office jobs. But yeah, it's hard. Sometimes I get a long-term job. One time I got a long-term job. Like they hired me at a publishing place, but then I got booked at Hong Kong Disney. And I was like, no one said I'd be here a year, but I've got to go.
Hong Kong Disney, I remember that.
Yeah, so it's.
Weren't you the tallest person there?
I was the tallest person in China, or at least that's
you told me that.
Yeah, I think that's what the Chinese people thought, because they would take pictures of me with telephoto lenses, like they were on National Geographic.
Really?
Yeah, we had a friend of mine went to this amusement park in China, and we were reading a map, and we were like, why is this girl standing next to us? And then we looked, and her friend's taking pictures of her, and she's doing the peace sign, like right next to us, as if we're like an exhibit.
No!
And the thing, I swear to God, we had to tell them to stop. It was really weird. We moved, she moved.
So you were like a draw, right?
Yeah. When I was in Japan, I worked at Disney in Japan and Hong Kong. And in Japan, for years later, people would say they're like, I saw you on TV on Travel Channel. I guess I wanted some documentary about Japan, and it's all the Japanese people and my head above them in like a busy street in Roppongi. And for like 7 years, my parents, everybody saw this video, this thing of me on the Travel Channel, because my head was just literally over the top.
I can imagine. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, you're like a big deal in Japan.
I'm huge in Japan.
Yeah, Susie Campanera too. She's a big deal. Did you know that?
No.
She was Tina and Tony and Tina's wedding in Japan, and she was on a billboard on the side of a building for years.
Wow.
Oh Susie Campanera.
I can see them liking her.
Yeah, she's famous in Japan. So Candace, what are some of the jobs that you've had that you're like, oh no?
Oh my God.
Or you had to do?
Yeah. I mean, when it started out, I would do office jobs as jobs that I had to do for bills or whatever. And I worked I worked in production in fashion for Calvin Klein jeans.
That must have been hard. No,
Well,
I wouldn't.
Let me say, because I don't mind being in an office. I think there is some level of creativity you can find in an office, and I don't mind, I also don't mind.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing. I never knew what I was doing. That's the problem.
Yeah, but
They
then
couldn't
you
get-
also meet personalities. Like, I worked for this crazy lady. This was back in, the late 90s, early 2000s, and she used to smoke in her windowless office, and she always wanted me to take dictation. It was like, come in, I need you to take a letter. Like, she was a total character, and she would smoke, and it was like, it just was a bad atmosphere. So it wasn't the office that was the problem.
It was just the
people.
atmosphere,
Honestly,
yeah.
you meet some weird people when you
You
do
meet such
you
weird
temp jobs.
people.
And like, there's one guy wants dictation. Like, what is this, 1952? Like, it's
Exactly.
so weird, and he did a certain way, and then other people need this, or it's just interesting the quirks that you meet when you work for executives, and the higher up they are, like, you're basically like, do I need to wipe your butt for you? It's like,
Yeah, that's true. Look at everybody with the likes. Yeah, what is that?
It's really strange. It's like they forget how to be human beings and just how to do.
Yeah, but
basic things.
that's just entitlement.
Yeah.
And that can happen anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's crazy. There's a certain type of person that just expects people to just, do what they need them to do like that.
Yeah.
Like, even with the driving, with the Ubering, like, the best tippers are the poor people that are usually going to, like, some job where they're really, they'll tip me the best. But the nightmare for me, the equivalent of corporate America for me, when I'm driving, is Hoboken. Hoboken on a Saturday afternoon, and no, seriously, because because you don't know where you're going with the car, right? You just go wherever it sends, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, I'm going to Hoboken, and then you're like, all of a sudden the car opens like, hey dude, and you get like, dude, you get like 4 giant dudes in my little car, and you could just smell the booze, and it's like, it's Saturday, and they're going to bars, or they're like and it's like, hey, dude, and that's what it is. And then they want the radio change, and it's like crazy. It's like, and I think to myself, oh my God, like, what did I just? But it's very quick because they're just going to bars. It's like the circle in Hoboken. Just people going to bars. It's like what's that, Thousand Santa's Night or SantaCon? It's like SantaCon Saturday, but it's like that, and so it's just crazy. But that's just that certain types of people. They need what they need now, and it's just, it's funny. You have to, that's jarring to me, something like that, but I guess people are good at it. Some people are great at it.
Yeah. But I also think too, because it's like, there is a certain level of, like, in corporate America, there are a certain level of rules and parameters. So when you meet characters, it's like, these people who, this is the way I express myself. I have this job with rules, but my personality is
right. I guess you're right.
Well, there's a lot of times, though, if we go in as temp workers or whatever, we are the creative people, and then they're looking at us like, oh, you're doing such exciting things, and you're like, oh, I sang at a piano bar last night. Like, oh, that's so exciting. You're like, really? I just got up and sang, like,
but you know what? You're right.
And they get they're so intrigued, and you are, because you're creative and just visiting, you're allowed to be like a little, like more yourself, and they're like, and they're living vicariously through you. They always end up following me on Facebook, and always end up fighting, and they're, oh, I live vicariously through all your all your travels and everything. And so many people want to do what we're doing, which is kind of aggressive, and which is sort of going from job to job. It's hard. It's not the most lucrative existence, but at the end of my life, I know that I'm going to know that I had fun and that I did the things that I wanted to do, and I think that that's what is going to be important.
Yeah, I love that you said that. It is true. It's not always. I mean, the money is great. God, we all need money, right? But it's not always about that. You're absolutely right. And then people do find life in what we do.
Yeah.
And they do follow us and things like that. So it is great. That's one of those great things. Just interesting what you just said. That's really true.
Performance often, I went back to, I did Festival of the Lion King at Walt Disney World in 1999. And so I went back to a reunion of the show. It was all the 18 years of cast. This was 2 years ago. And I was like, why did none of these people, it's the women for that cast, look like they did back when they were all performing? And this is 18 years later. Yeah. And everyone was like, maybe it's because we're doing what we love to do. So many people have gone on and they're still performing. One was a dance company, they're doing all these things. And doing what you love to do is going to make you happy. It's going to make you feel and look and be younger. It just is. And so, I always want to be able to do, have the freedom to do what I want to do. And, you figure out the money. The money happens. There's ways to make money. You drive an Uber, you sell whatever you need
Do
to
what you got to do.
And in this day and age, there's ways
Absolutely.
to make money. On the internet, there are ways to, I'm looking at ways to be more of a writer on the internet. There's things
Right.
to do. We're creative, and so we're able to find them and adapt ourselves
Yeah.
to be within them. And I think that's something that is a real talent.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, even thinking about not being creative for me just throws me into such a crazy place.
Right.
Like, I have to always be able to express myself, whatever it is, and I've always been lucky that I've had, like the teaching. I love to teach. I teach out in Morristown and at the Mayo with Darius, and that's like so much fun, and that's one day a week, and I'm always doing different things, and I have to be doing things like that's why I need jobs, and I have to be able to go on auditions during the day. So you need these crazy odd jobs, One of the craziest jobs I ever had, which was really fun, but it was crazy, is I did costume characters for FAO Schwartz.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, on the weekends. I don't know if I ever told you that.
Dogs and bears.
Like who-
Oh no, I was Arthur the Aardvark for years. Don't you recognize me? Yes, I was Arthur the Aardvark. I had this giant head, and I had this little vest, and it was just regular pants that you wore. They were kind of like sweatpants, but they were striped. And do you know that these little kids, these mean little kids, that's one girl, looked in because through your mouth is where you can look down, because you don't really have eyes. Your eyes are up here, so your mouth is where your eyes are. And she looked right into the mouth, and she said, "Arthur the Aardvark, you're not an aardvark. You're a real person. That's pathetic."
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Olivia.
it.
Her name was Olivia. Can you believe I never forgot
No
her?
shout out for Olivia.
Right?
And then she stepped on my foot. She stepped on my foot, and she tried to pull the pants down. Can you believe this?
Yeah.
Because they want to prove that you're this is before the Times Square thing.
Right.
And so,
Times Square, they pull their own pants down.
yeah, that's,
They don't care. They don't
oh,
care.
they're
Stick their head out.
awful.
They don't care. I'm like,
They're
are you
awful.
kidding
They
me?
don't care. They're smoking. I'm like, this is
Three Minnie
awful.
Mouses right next to each other.
Yeah,
With
they're
their
eating.
with three Minnie Mouse.
We used to have to really keep it going for a long
Yeah.
time. So she was like, this is what she said to me. That's what you do for a living? You're pathetic.
Oh, I hate
Can you imagine her mother? That's her mother's voice.
Yeah.
It's a great. Yes,
So then this same kid, Olivia, came back another week for another party. And do you know that I did? I grabbed her little hand and I twisted it when she went to get my pants. I twisted and she was like, "Arthur, you're hurting me. Arthur."
She's so good.
That's right, Olivia.
Can you believe that?
I'm hurting
Can
you.
believe that?
Then all of a sudden, I wasn't so pathetic, was I? That's right. God, I'm glad I got that off my
You
chest.
really did.
20 years later, she's
Great
probably
counselor, Candace.
she's probably a big exec somewhere watching this, and she's like, "Oh my God, that was Arthur the Aardvark." She's gonna come back and sue me. Oh my God. All right, so good. What should we tell people if anybody's thinking about moving here? It's either a young person or not so young person, or thinking about staying in the arts, wants to give up. What is a nice word of advice? Candace, what would you tell them?
I would say this, because I think, and I keep dating myself, but I think for when I came, and, when a lot of us came in the 90s and stuff like that, this was still the place to come to make it happen.
Mhm.
But now, with the internet, if you are somewhere out in Podunk, Wisconsin, you can be getting your career, your expression, your art, your sing, whatever you're doing digitally out there.
That's true.
And-
That is true.
And someone will end up paying for you to come here. Rather than feeling like, to be self-expressed, you have to come here and figure it out and get in the trenches. You don't have to do that anymore.
That's
If you
true.
want to, you can.
People are setting auditions for movies even. You hear about people get this part, they tape auditions and things like that. It's,
Yeah.
Totally.
a lot of it is, you have to be there and you're able to get there really quickly.
Yeah.
But like you said, you can start anything, and you
Yeah.
can.
Start a
And they're all
YouTube
about people building brands in advance.
Yeah.
So that is the kind of having a YouTube channel, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's a new.
A lot of it is social
New
media now,
media
right?
world.
Like, be
that we're
doing
in.
what it is you want to do. Just start doing it.
Just start doing
And
it.
people will listen to it.
Well, one of the girls I had on the show last week, she's a writer, and she teaches creative writing as well. And she said she tells people to go to where their energy is, rather than just say, "Okay, this is the beginning of my screenplay, and this is the end of it," or I have to go in sequence. She said, "No, just go to where write any scene where your energy is," and that was one of the things that she was promoting. And I think that's important too, because otherwise it's easy to freeze. Like when you used to write your shows, Toby, you would write them in different sections, right?
And I would sort of, even when we would rehearse, it would be like, okay, here I'm going to talk about this, and I wouldn't know exactly what I was going to say until, kind of the day before. Okay, I'm going to hit these points. It was almost like my stuff was like bullet pointed, and then it would change as the show went on. With reactions that I would get, I remember I would make up jokes just as we went, and then you'd be like, put that in the show. It's going to stay, and so and I think that's the way to do a show like that where you're being yourself. Yeah. Which is a hard thing for many people to do.
Remember, you directed my show, too.
I did direct your show, too. That's right.
You sang in my show.
You sang in her show?
Yeah.
This will be...
Beautiful. No, we did
Beautiful.
But did we do This
Will Be? Yeah.
Did you do This Will Be?
No, we did that separately. We did that at karaoke.
Yeah, the Bette Midler song, but Beautiful. Who was your other backup person? You had Toby and who else?
You and me.
Look out.
That was later. That was a different time.
Oh, it was a show, though.
Candace, who was the other person that was your
backup people? Oh my God.
Did you have two?
Well, who were you with? I had different people for every show.
Oh, right.
And I feel horrible that I
No, there was a lot of people.
It was in 2006 and 2007. So
it was a while back. That was a good show.
Do you remember who you were partnered with? Bette Midler.
Pretty Is So Important, right?
Yes,
that was the name.
Pretty Is So Important was the show. And I'm Beautiful Them was the finale song. And so the part where they're like, too short, too tall, too whatever, that's what Toby did.
Toby, that's right.
Who was with you?
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I'm sorry, people.
Well, you know what? That's okay. Maybe you can remind us. Let's check in with people again. Usually I check in a lot more. Just tonight we've been talking a lot and having fun and stuff. Every night we have fun, but it's coming in so fast.
The most fun, right?
Well, let me tell you, you just never know what's going to happen on the show, and this has been a thrill. I'll tell you that much. Jeffrey Campbell, she's going to be thorn. Oh, she was talking about Olivia. It's going to be thorn in somebody's side. Leah Sutton. Hi, Leah Sutton has joined. Tim DePasqua. Do you guys know who Tim DePasqua is?
That name is familiar.
Yes, he's one of my favorite songwriters. He's amazing. So Tim DePasqua, we have to work out when you're going to come on the show. I want to talk to you guys, talk to you about that. He is an amazing... Stephen Douglas Mayhack, your friend, Candace.
Yeah, I love
Steve, where are you living now? I think he's... I don't know if he's here in New York still. A lot of people that we used to know have moved to other places, and it's kind of goes back to what you were talking about. People, I know so many people that have, like my friend Katie Cass has moved back to Wisconsin, but she's doing amazing. So you're right, because I moved here in 90. And when did you move here, Toby?
In 2000.
Okay, so it's true. It was very different. New York was the place to come to. It was the destination, and then everything sprung out from here. But it is different now. Like sometimes people come here, and then they go back to where they were raised or whatever, and they start theater companies or they do all this other stuff. Or
and TV film is like branching. So many shows shoot, in North Carolina, and or in
Atlanta.
And there's like little hubs. In Austin, a lot of stuff happens. There's a lot of music stuff.
I know a lot of people that work in television, like behind the scenes, that are working in Atlanta now. There's a ton of work down there.
Because they can shoot all year because it's not cold. Yeah.
No, that's true too.
I think it's down there.
Get in a Medea movie.
Yeah. You know what? Listen, if that's your thing, that's your thing.
That's his
Get
thing.
no
all the way to that nice mansion.
I don't. Not my. That's not my thing. It's not my. Not a fan. Are you guys not fans?
I've never seen one of the movies.
I'm not a fan. I have to tell you, when I first started seeing Medea, I was like, oh god, she can blow theater. But I have to get it.
I saw one of those DVDs because he used to be on the what is it called, the Chitlin Circuit. The black theaters and the black things, and his thing was faith-based. So it was comedy with Medea, but
all the
Medea's high school reunion.
And then
in the middle of it was a whole funny thing, and all of a sudden this one woman's having this dramatic arc about the abuse, and there's a video.
Is that true?
Yeah, ridiculous. And then they come back to like him in a dress, talking about, hey, it's weird. And that's how it started, and I was like, this is awful, so I've never really been able to see one of the movies.
So that's how it started.
Yeah, he started out doing these live theater shows in one night.
Well, they used to be at the Beacon Theater, right?
Probably, I'm sure 1 or 2 nights,
What was some of the names? You remember?
It was like Medea's fan reunion, a lot of movies.
Same as the movie.
Yeah, then it became movies.
But then there would be this moment with the doves.
Oh my god, that was so weird. Yeah, she got abused.
I wish we had some doves right now.
Medea's high school reunion was
there it is.
High school reunion was at a hotel. In the first half, he was a busboy as a man. Then the second half, Medea showed up. So he played 2 characters, and but he cracked the whole, he was laughing, he cracked himself up. I was like, this is really
It's the same genre of your arms too short to box with God. Like, Mama, I want to sing.
Yeah,
Like,
oh my God.
I want to
Right,
sing.
right. Well, that was at the
Right?
Beacon Theater.
That was at the Beacon Theater, but Tyler Perry, you gotta hand it to him. I mean,
And then the
like,
commercials,
bust it out. Yeah.
for those. But now they have this other one called I'm Alive.
I
Have you
know
seen the
that one.
commercial for that on New York One? Like 55, and they're like, and they 55, and I'm alive, and I'm like
Is
thinking,
it a show?
you should be
If
at
there's a
55. I'm
backfire,
hoping.
You know it's the.
I'm hoping, yeah.
hoping.
Who's that? I hear. Is that your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Someone's called. All right, so we're getting close to the
Busy.
end of our show. So, all right, Leo Rodriguez, my friend Leo Rodriguez, great show. He's written so many things. When the show is over and I save the video, you guys can go back and look at all the comments. We got some great comments. Tim Nepasco says, great show. Thanks for the sweet shout out. I love you, Tim. No one is forcing me to give you a shout out. He is an amazing songwriter, Tim DePasqua. He's going to be on the show. We got to work that out. I love his music, and he's such a great guy. Oh, my God, Mario has joined, our friend Mario. He usually comes on once in a while. Hi, Mario. I saw your new headshot or whatever that was. Very handsome. Mario gets better looking as the years go on. It's crazy. Some people go the opposite, but some people don't. They just get better and better looking. All right, I think we're almost done, right, Jimmy? How much time?
Minute and a half.
Minute and a half.
Oh wow.
Okay, so the hour has flown by. So we just want to thank you for coming back and remind you that this is on. Well, of course, we're going to be here every Tuesday, Facebook Live, and God willing, with the Doves. God willing. Right. And also,
How people can find us?
yes.
If they want to find us.
So if they want to find you, Candace, how do they find you?
Just join my Facebook group, thecreativelovecollective.com.
Oh, I love that. All right, thecreativelovecollective.com. And Toby Blackwell?
TobyBlackwell.com.
Easy. And also the tutor, how do they find you as a tutor?
TobyTutor@gmail.com.
Okay, so on this show is on armeddigitalmedia.com. You can listen to us live every Tuesday. Now, this is going to go into podcast on Spreaker.com and also on iHeartRadio. Just type in What's the Story with Maria, or as Toby said, you can ask Alexa to find it for you, right?
Next to iHeart.
She connects to iHeart. Alexa, find me What's the Story with Maria. You don't have to snap, but I wanted to. I like that. I like that
More of a
snap.
serious thing.
Yeah, that's true. Serious, like, I like to snap, yeah. All right, so thank you, everybody. We appreciate you coming back week after week after week, and we love you. Come back next week, and for more great guests and more great food, and we're going to eat now.
Bye. Breakfast.
All right.
That was so much fun.
So
Can
much
we do it
fun.
again?